Good, happy Thursday morning, March 11, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Thursday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, so let's get started. First up, let's take a look at your COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. And here is a check of those COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. There are 77,463 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. There are 1,187 number of deaths in COVID-19 in New Hampshire. There are 75 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire. That is a look at your COVID-19 numbers for New Hampshire. Cause of death announced of mother-son found in Manchester apartment back in December. Let's take a listen to that video from WR News 9.
For the easy and the complex, the small stuff and the big, we're here with the affordable local loans, easy to manage accounts, and financial advice to help you blaze a trail, figure stuff out, and make your money go farther. We're Granite State Credit Union. Live bold.
Tragic new details tonight into the investigation at this Manchester apartment building on Bodwell Road. In December, the bodies of 25-year-old Mercedes Tremblay and her 2-year-old son, Mason, were found there. The Attorney General's office says Mercedes was lying on her bed and Mason was in his bedroom closet. Investigators say bedroom furniture was put up against that closet door, preventing Mason from opening it.
His body was found pinned between that partially open door and the door frame.
An autopsy determined the toddler died of compressional asphyxia. Malnutrition was also a contributing cause.
It does appear that Mercedes did cause Mason's death.
The AG's office says Mercedes took her own life by shooting herself in the head.
We are limited at this time with the information that we can release because there are still some investigatory tasks that need to be completed. When additional information is available and when we've concluded the investigation, we will provide additional information.
It remains unclear exactly how Mason got pinned between the door and the door frame.
Law enforcement, the Attorney General's office, prosecutors, we always feel for victims, families who suffer a loss.
The Attorney General's office will continue to investigate, but it's not known when more information will be made public. Reporting live, Mike Cronin, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. State aims to provide first vaccine doses to all school child care staff by the end of March. Vaccines available to all that want them. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Nicole Lally.
Living in northern New England doesn't mean you have to spend the winter on your roof. Forever Metal roofs are designed to shed...
Oh, well, Tom, the message on the weekly call with school nurses today is that vaccines for teachers are going to be widely available starting next week. Now, the goal is to get this group through the first round of the vaccination process by the end of this month. Phase 2A gets underway with regional vaccination clinics that have already been scheduled. They begin this Friday, March 12th. Those clinics scheduled with individual school districts. Then, if a district is not included, appointment scheduling will open up on March 17th for public clinics. Eligible people will be asked to provide proof like a pay stub, a letter from a school or a child care facility where they work, or photo ID from that school or facility. The state has a goal to get first vaccines to all schools and teachers by the end of the month.
We have to spread this out over a few weeks. It's going to be the last 3 weeks here of March. And so it's not possible to do everyone in the first week. And we're going to leverage all of our different access points for vaccines.
Another change with the group is that teachers that work in New Hampshire but live in other states will be eligible. However, if you're a New Hampshire resident and you work in another state like Massachusetts or Vermont as a teacher, you're not eligible in this phase. Reporting live, I'm Nicole Lally, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New child tax credit to provide financial relief for families in feeling the pressure of COVID-19. Estimated 83 million child in benefits. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Amy Cavino.
If you're looking for a more beautiful, creatively organized home, look to Creative Closet Solutions. A quarter-century.
Enhanced child tax credits will go to individuals or heads of households making up to $200,000 a year and married couples filing jointly earning up to $400,000. Benefits phase out above those income levels. Right now, parents of children under 17 are eligible for a $2,000 tax credit per child. The new enhanced credit gives $3,600 for each child under 6, $3,000 for each child 6 to 16, and $500 per child 17 through full-time college. The benefits are split. Half of the child tax credit will arrive in monthly payments in the form of checks or direct deposits July through December. The remaining credit will be given after filing 2021 taxes next year. This is a one-year boost right now. New Hampshire's U.S. House members are praising it.
Families that are below the poverty level are going to start to get serious assistance.
And I think it's something we have to measure in terms of its effectiveness and see if there's an opportunity to renew it at the end of this period.
Mackenzie Nicholson lost her job during the pandemic with 2 children at home.
I'm very excited about the potential for it. I know that it's going to help my family and a lot of those around me. So, yeah, I'm very excited.
The CEO of Granite State Retirement Planning urges taxpayers to consider saving over spending.
With this extra money, they should, just keep it in the bank and go through their finances and figure out what do they need. Don't be too quick to spend that.
Jean Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Some with disabilities encountering difficulties in vaccination process. State officials work to remedy the problems. With more on that, let's go to WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
Switch on reliable. Around the country, communication has been an issue for the disabled community. It's been a challenge for some in New Hampshire as well. Susan Wolf Downs and her husband are deaf. At their vaccination site, they were offered an interpreter through a program called Video Remote Interpreting, or VRI.
Unfortunately, the interpreter who was on the video didn't understand me. We weren't allowed to take our masks off. She couldn't understand us with our masks on.
Compounding things, the VRI connection cut out. Luckily, Wolf Downs received permission to allow her legally certified daughter to interpret on her behalf.
Becky happened to be on the phone at the time, but, otherwise it was not effective communication at all.
Some in the blind community, like Deanna O'Brien, say registration has been difficult, since not everyone has a sighted person who can patiently assist them.
There are places in the vaccine registration website that ask for buttons to be pushed that are not labeled, so a screen reader can't read them.
Senator Maggie Hassan has called on the Biden administration to ensure that the COVID-19 vaccine distribution process is accessible for individuals with disabilities.
A lot of people with disabilities have pre-existing conditions that make them particularly vulnerable to serious cases of COVID-19, so we want to make sure, too, that their needs are prioritized.
In a statement to News 9, the state says it will make interpreters available at sites by request and added
We have received a couple of emails from members of the deaf and hard of hearing community who say they've either not had a competent ASL interpreter at vaccination sites and or have arrived to a site only to find that the VRI system was not working, and we will always work to address any issues. Mike Cherry, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Some Granite state communities approve large projects. Others focus to replan after voter decision. School renovations, broadband expansions approved. With more on that, let's go to WMUR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
If you're looking for a more beautiful, creatively organized home, look to Creative Closet Solutions, a quarter-century of experience.
A water main replacement has been approved in Canaan. The Old Town Hall in Gilmanton will be restored, and in Langdon, a high-speed broadband expansion is on the way.
From working from home or education or attending college or telemedicine, it's a game changer for this town. We will go through the bonding process, which is in July. But the process really starts now because you have to get your application in by the end of April.
The town of Pelham approved a massive renovation project for their middle school to help improve the building's layout and internal systems.
The building systems, particularly heating and ventilation, was a real struggle this year with COVID. It almost kept us from reopening. And we were just beside ourselves, thrilled that the town decided to support it.
The project will cost $31 million and will be underway this summer.
The workspace will be cordoned off during the school year, and they'll do the heavier work during vacations.
But for others, certain projects will not move forward. In the Conval School District, the school budget was voted down, which included plans for a remote learning school. In Hampstead, a fire station renovation was not approved. And in Swansea, a plan for a new fire station missed passing by 46 votes.
Obviously we're extremely disappointed. We're looking forward to the new station.
The fire chief says a new station would cost $3.9 million and is needed to help ease contamination and space concerns.
The stations that we're in now, they're very small, very tight, very cramped. Yeah, it's very frustrating. This is not just considered like a renovation. This is a brand new building, a brand new, what we like to consider a facility.
Christine Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Lebanon voters support to eliminate school resource officer position. With more on that, let's go to WMUR News 9, Matt Layton.
At Bell-Tape's, customers will find everything they need for a building project. The brand names you trust to perform. And with a fleet of over 50 delivery vehicles, we deliver when and where our customers need them. Bell-Tape's Building Products. 9 locations throughout New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
The majority of voters have stated that police do not belong in our schools.
I think the school resource officer position is an important part of our partnership.
Lebanon voters deciding Tuesday the school resource officer position is one they like to see go. Police officer Gregory Partham has been the SRO for about 10 years now.
He spends time at the high school, the middle school, and the elementary schools on occasion. His primary role is to build and establish relationships throughout the school with the students, with the staff.
Article 7 on the school ballot, which was a petition warrant article, asked if the school district will vote to discontinue the use of a school resource officer and the money be put into the general fund. It passed by just 5 votes.
I think it's clear that there was a majority of people in favor, even if by a small margin.
Esma El-Houni was one of those who started the petition and would like to see the SRO go.
There's currently a national movement to re-examine the ways our communities are failing, our young ones failing people of color, and it's vital that our communities are divesting from policing and investing in community solutions.
However, Lebanon's police chief says under the current agreement, if the SRO program is not working for anyone, it can be ended, but he would like to see the position kept.
I'd be, interested to hear from the school board and, the superintendent to see if they've had any type of change in thought process about the school resource officer. And I'm certainly willing to have further discussions on this concept.
The outgoing school board chair says they'll take the vote results under consideration, but the next steps are still unknown. In Lebanon, Matt Layton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Congress passes $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
This St. Patrick's Day, let's make the world a little greener. Whiskey needs trees, so does the world. So here's the deal.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Wednesday night, and we begin tonight with the news that millions of struggling Americans will soon be getting help. President Biden's historic $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill has passed the House and now heads to the president's desk to be signed on Friday. He'll address the nation tomorrow night, one of the largest economic rescue packages since the Great Depression, with $1,400 checks for most Americans and new unemployment benefits just as an earlier round was set to run out, lowering the cost of health insurance if you're on Obamacare. And President Biden telling the American people today, help is here. The measures clearing the House, not one Republican voting for the bill, though the president is aware of the polling showing American voters by a large majority support this effort. Democratic leaders from the Senate and the House signing the act before sending it to the president. The president, speaking of that support across the country, saying the relief bill passed with the support of, quote, an overwhelming percentage of Americans, Democrats, independents, and Republicans. And tonight, what this will mean for most Americans, the typical family of four. We're going to go down the numbers for you. And with news tonight of this bill passing, there's also news from American Airlines and what this immediately means for thousands of employees. ABC's Rachel Scott tonight, leading us off from the Hill.
Tonight, a bitterly divided Congress passing one of the most sweeping economic rescue packages in American history.
The motion is adopted.
A big win for Democrats.
This is the most consequential legislation that many of us will ever be a party to.
And also for President Biden, just 50 days into his term.
This bill represents a historic victory for the American people.
His message, help is on the way.
Everything in the American Rescue Plan addresses a real need, including investments to fund our entire vaccination effort. More vaccines, more vaccinators, and more vaccination sites.
By the end of this month, most Americans are expected to receive their largest stimulus check yet, $1,400 per person. That means a family of four making under $150,000 a year could get $5,600, plus a $2,600 child tax credit, for a total of $8,200. Antonia Gonzalez-Caro, a mother of two in Washington State, is counting on it. She racked up thousands of dollars in debt during the pandemic.
We were struggling, but now we feel a lot better. We are happier that help is on the way, and we feel relieved, and the money is going to be really a blessing.
The bill includes billions for small businesses, extends federal unemployment benefits at $300 a week through September, and lowers health care premiums for millions of Americans on Obamacare. A 64-year-old making $58,000 would see their monthly premium payments drop from around $1,000 to $400. Also included $350 billion in aid to state and local governments, infuriating Republicans.
It's a laundry list of left-wing priorities that predate the pandemic.
So let's get right to Rachel Scott. She's live up on the Hill again tonight for us. Rachel, as we noted there, the bill passing today without a single Republican vote. But as we heard from President Biden, he's well aware that several polls, even this week, show a majority of Americans supported this. And tonight we're aware of news coming in. We're already seeing immediate effects. American Airlines, for one, taking action after news the bill had passed.
David, news already that American Airlines is canceling plans to furlough 13,000 workers. Airlines got a big boost in this COVID-19 relief package. The CEO of American Airlines telling workers who received one of those furlough notices to tear it up, saying it is happily canceled. David?
Rachel Scott leading us off tonight. And of course, we'll have the president's speech to the nation right here tomorrow night.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And thank you for joining us for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.